Hello and welcome to YouthWorks live Q&A session, where we are here to answer all of your questions and concerns. And if you've been having any issues or you just want to follow up and get the dates on what is next, that is what we're here for. Today, I am joined by a fantastic group of people who are working tirelessly behind the scenes and now a little bit in front of the scenes to just answer any questions that you might have about the application process. So feel free to please, while you are watching, go ahead and share this a few times with a few people who is interested in working during the summer, some youth that you might know. If you're a youth yourself, share it with your friends. If you're a mom or an auntie or a relative and you have a young person in your life that you know would benefit from having a job during the summer and you're not sure whether or not they have completed their YouthWorks application, please take the time right now to share this video out. And without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and open it up. And I am joined by all of these fantastic people that you see here on the screen. We have Eric, who's a workforce analyst, Yolanda, Carol. We also have Dante. So let's go ahead and get right into the Q&A portion, or actually I'm going to give you a bit of information and then we're going to get right into the Q&A portion. So first, let's talk about a few important dates. I know people are probably wondering what's going on with the application. The YouthWorks deadline has been extended recently, and it is extended to March 31st for you to be able to register for YouthWorks. So what does that give you today? Today is Friday. It's the 26th. So that's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. That's only 5 days for you to get your application in. So just want to make sure that everyone is getting this information. You have 5 more days to get your application in. Once you get your application in and you get your verification letter and everything is great and you are going to start for the summer, then the time in which the program will operate will be from June 28th through August 6th. So if you have a vacation plan for 2 weeks in between that time or something around that, then maybe think about that. Or if you are currently thinking about where you're going to go for the summer, if you're going to hang out with your cousins or if you're going to go to someone else's house over the summer, just think about these dates in reference to that. Again, the program will start June 28th is the first day of the program. August 6th is the last day of the program. So that gives that 6 weeks. So this year, the program will be 6 weeks. All right.
Well, thank you so much all for joining us. And as Rashim said, we have some wonderful presenters here who are going to be working with you all to answer some of your questions. All right, so we're going to take some questions. If you make sure you put them in the comments, we'll try to answer them here. All right, thank you so much for asking this question. So I registered for my daughter, but it keeps saying that she's missing information. I uploaded everything. All right, so we're going to answer that question for you. All right.
One of the things that I would say to, and I'm thinking it's pronounced Kelly, is to look out for is on the information. Sometimes you may have uploaded the information, but it might be missing a signature or one of the ways in which it's filled out. That would also still make the application incomplete. Secondly, I would encourage you to check by calling either the help, like our number that's going to pop up on the screen right here. Call that number and we'll be able to look directly into the application and let you know exactly what information is missing. And yeah.
All right, and we're going to go through a little more about those different attachments, those different forms that Rashim was mentioning as we go along through the Q&A. So make sure you're paying close attention as we go through that. And Rashim was mentioning that you may receive an email, such as what Kelly mentioned, that provides the attachments that you may have been missing. So an X will mark which attachments need more work, such as signage, as well as other information that may be missing. All right, so we're going to take another question. All right, thank you so much. So do we get to work in person or no?
So as of right now, if you are 18 and over, you will have the opportunity to potentially work in person. We are still working out some of the details of which sites may be able to work in person. So it is a probability that you may get to work in person depending upon the sites, and details around that are forthcoming.
All right, thank you so much, Rashim. All right, let's take another question. Let's see. All right, thank you, Mimi. Hello, so I received a call stating that all of my information was correct and set. However, they needed confirmation from me stating that my bank account was mine. What exactly will I be submitting? Bank statements?
Okay, so hi, my name is Carol, and so the two forms of it says the official proof of your bank account. It could be a voided check, not the first check, but an actual voided check, not the starter check that they give you, but an actual check. Write the word void on that. You could take a picture and upload that or attach it, and or your bank statement. Either you go paperless or you get a bank statement in the mail. Usually that first page has your name and your bank account information on it. The reason for that is that we have to see that information on that bank account and what's on the actual payroll form is the same, because we don't want to send your money anywhere else. So we have to have that official bank information in order to say that bank account belongs to you. It's a safety issue, confidentiality issue as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Carol. And so we're referring to if you choose the payment option for an existing bank account. And that. So there's 3 different payment options that we'll also go through further later on as well. All right, so let's go back to our presentation, and we'll be continuously taking your questions and talking about them out loud, as well as doing our best to answer some in the Facebook chat as well as we go along. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again, just one moment. Bear with me. Here we go. All right. So we're going to go from this next slide, and Carol and Yolanda are going to run us through some different important information for our application.
Okay, attachment checklist is the list of everything that you need in order to be certified for this year. The employment forms would be the employment eligibility verification form, which is the I-9, the Maryland withholding exemption certificate, which is the MW 507. The federal withholding form exemption certificate would be the W-4, the application signature page. Okay. Youth under 18, the work permit for youth under the age of 18. Now, if you worked last year through YouthWorks summer jobs, you do not have to do a work permit. If you are 13 years of age and you'll turn 14 before June the 25th, you'll be able to go on our document section on the first page, our YouthWorks homepage under documents, and find that work permit for 13-year-olds. Other than that, ages 14 to 17 will need to go to the dollar site. And on the left-hand side of that dollar site, which you see the address right here, HTTPS, you will see it says minor work permit. Once you complete out the top of that work permit will be your information. The bottom would be ours. If you're not sure of our information, it is located on the homepage, YouthWorks homepage under youth. Just scroll down and you'll see it says work permit information, and you'll know exactly what to put on that document. The YouthWorks payroll form, youth ages under 18. Identity and work authorization is proof of ID will be your school ID, your Maryland ID, or a recent report card. We also accept your passport as well. Work authorization would be your social security card or your birth certificate. Now, if we've already in past years have uploaded your birth certificate or your social security card, you do not have to do that. And your US citizen ID card. Let's go back. As far as your ID is concerned as well, for kids who are still at the same school and that's your only source of ID, you do not have to upload your ID as long as we already have it and you're still at that same school. Okay. Well, certain documentation covered both proof of ID and work authorization.
Identity work authorization. Proof of identity can be one of the following pieces of document You can have a state issue ID, a learner's permit or driver's license, a school ID, as Ms. Carroll just mentioned. It can also be an ID from the same school that you're attending this year that you obtained last year. Also, you can submit a school report card or record. If you don't have a paper report card, I always suggest that you go onto the campus portal of the child, pull up the grade, take a picture, and upload the picture of the online report card. Also, we do accept voter registration card, and anyone that's under 18 will need the parent signature on the I-9. Work authorization information that is required is Social Security card, original or certified copy of birth certificate, or U.S. citizen ID card. Or the following documents can serve as identity and work authorization: passport, permanent resident card, alien registration receipt card, employment authorization document card.
All right. Thank you so much, Carol and Yolanda. Really great job running through those attachment forms, as well as our identity and work authorization. Real quick, I just want to say, make sure that you go to our youthworks.oedworks.com website and then click on youth page. Click on youth at the top. And that's where you can find a lot of this information. If you scroll down, there's another video that runs through how to fill out those documents, and some other details that we'll discuss further as we go along. All right, so now we're going to take some more questions. All right, thank you so much, Christina. I'm not sure how to fill out the 13-year-old work permit application.
Okay, so again, once you go to that YouthWorks homepage, that pretty purple page, look under documents, and it has that, scroll down and you'll see that work permit from 13-year-olds. It's a little different than the one with dollars. So at the top, you still would put your child's information. You still would put a YouthWorks information, address, telephone number, the supervisor or the rep signature. Don't worry about that, but the rep name is Rasheen, which is spelled R-A-S-H-E-E-M, capital S period for the last name. She is our new YouthWorks manager, and so her name goes there. If you have any questions about the YouthWorks information, on that same homepage, go under youth, and you'll see, scroll down and it says how to fill out a work permit. Just click that, and it gives you all of our YouthWorks information.
Wonderful. All right, let's take another question. All right, Brandy says, I put my name instead of my son's name. How do I fix this problem?
You can call our office, and you can ask for myself or Yolanda, and we can actually switch the names for you. That's a small fix, but you can call the office. That's a quick and small fix. We will take your name out and put the child name. Usually what happens, if you use your device to fill out the application, it automatically puts your information in there. Your name will automatically go in there. So that's a small fix. We'll be glad to do that for you.
Great. And that phone number is 410-545-1820 that you saw below. All right. There it is.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. And let's take another question. Harriet says, can we use the work permit from last year? So yes, you can use, so if your work permit was used for your YouthWorks application last year, you can use that again this year. I believe Carol mentioned that earlier as well.
Well, I mentioned earlier, if you worked last year.
Yeah.
If you worked last year, you don't have to do another work permit. But if you did not work, you will have to fill out another work permit, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Carol, for that clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Always on point. All right. Let's take another question. Let's see. All right. Thank you, Olivia. I'm 16, so do I fill out the employee's withholding certificate, or should my parent fill it out?
All of the information is pertaining to you, sweetheart. Every document that you fill out is pertaining to you. So you don't have to put out any money that your mother received for you, anything like that. That's every information that you give us is pertaining to your employment and your your employment. So that withholding form would pertain to you.
Yeah, so it'll be your information, but feel free to have some parental guidance to help you get through those forms. All right. All right, so here we go. Let's do another question. So I filled out the 13-year-old work permit online, but I still received an email saying that I need a stamped and approved work permit. Do we know how to answer that question?
I'm curious about where the email came from.
Yeah, and for it to say stamp, that we need a little bit more clarity because we don't stamp anything. At this point, everything is being attached to your application, and so we're not stamping anything. We either will see something, send an email to you with something crossed on that email saying that you're missing something crossed by the work permit, and tell you what the issue is. It's no stamp involved. That needs to be.
Yeah. Otherwise, I assume that we could also be discussing the incomplete email that was received that maybe says that it's not approved, the work permit. So making sure that you have it signed can be one way to make sure it's approved next time. So that's kind of my thoughts on that question. All right, so we'll come back to taking questions, but for now we're going to go through a few more slides, just kind of give you a summary of the application process, make sure we're all on the same page, and then talk about some payment options. So I'm going to share my screen again, and it'll just take one more second. Here we go. All right, and on to the next slide for Carol and Yolanda.
Okay. New youth completing the application summary. First, we're going to take you through the steps as to what you need to do and what to expect when you are a new person going in the system for the first time. The step one is to create your account. Creating your account is actually, you have to have an email and create a password. Once you do that, it will tell you, we will send you, once you do that, you'll get to the first page and you'll complete the initial information, whereas though you'll put your name, your address, all of that information pertaining to you personally will be on that page. Once you submit that, our system will automatically send you an email back to your email address for you to open and to verify that that account is you. Okay. Then once you do that, you'll click that link on the email to access a new application. Okay. Once you do that, it'll take you back to our system. So you'll complete the application contents. All right. And hit new for attachments. Now, what you'll see is when you go to that application, it's us asking you a whole lot of questions pertaining to what your interests are. What side of town do you live on? Do you have any allergies? So we want to get to know you so we can better match you when it comes to matching employers to youth. Okay, so it's about us getting to know you better. Once you do that, you will see that it says attachments. Now, you can do one or two things. When you go to the home page, you can go under youth and you can do and look at all the attachments that you need first and complete them, because it actually tells you how, and complete them and save them. Then when you do your application, you just have to attach them. Okay, once that's submitted, you'll receive an automatic response confirmation email that you have submitted your application and it was received. The new received email application, it will say approved and eligible for a summer job. That's what the email will say, that it has been approved and that you are eligible for a summer job. So that's what to expect when you are a new applicant.
Returning you completing application summary. The first step you'll do is log into your existing YouthWorks account If you're having issues with logging in, you can always press or click on forgot password and send an email to the YW help desk in reference to obtaining your password to your account. Once you're able to log into your account, you will then complete the application content by clicking on the youth registration once you get in, and then clicking on the green bar that says click here to continue or start your registration for 2021. And while you're doing that, you're going to come up to step 4 in the application where you will upload your documents or attachment. Just as Ms. Carroll stated, you can get the attachments from the home page. Underneath the youth button, scroll down underneath the video, you'll find all the documents and the instructions on how to complete them, as well as clicking on the document tab on that home page at the top of the page. So once you upload all your documents and click on finalize and submit at the bottom of the screen, and make sure that you hit finalize and submit, because there's also a save and come back. So make sure you finalize it and submit. And once you do that, you'll receive an automatic email confirmation response stating that your submission was received. Now, once your application has been received and approved, you will then receive an email letting you know that you're eligible for a summer job opportunity.
Okay. This is one of the most important parts with the kids, is how the youth was going to get paid. How can they get paid? I want to make sure I read this correctly so you'll definitely understand. The first, when you go to the page where it says the payroll form, this is what the options will be on that payroll form. So at the top of the payroll form, you'll fill out all of your information. And just remember, all of this information is certified. We keep this information to ourselves. We don't share any of your information with anyone else. So you can understand that it's very important that you do fill out the information so we can process you correctly. So at the top of the page, you'll see your information is put in, and then you'll go to the second portion of the document, and it'll give you the 3 options how you want to get paid this summer. The main option is the U.S. bank card. Even if you worked with us last year or the year before, we always give new bank cards out every year. This is just a process that we go through, but we always give a new bank card out every year. So you would just put a little circle where it says U.S. bank card, and the U.S. bank card is the payroll form. A part of the payroll form, youth will not be paid by check. Only the money will go directly, whatever hours you make, to this bank card. The U.S. bank card fees, the only fee that you have is if you lost your card and you submitted it one time, and then the second time they will charge you. Out-of-state network or ATM, they will charge fees. Foreign transaction, if you're out of the country, fees. And activity after 60 days and you have not used it at all, I believe they do charge you a small fee for that. If you have an existing personal bank account, requirements, the YouthWorks payroll form, the official deposit document, I mentioned that earlier. That could be that voided check or that first page of your bank statement. Personal check or direct deposit authorization is also a way form with youth name, with the youth name on it, not the starter check. Okay. Notation on the forms. I have an existing bank account that I'd like to receive my pay in. Enter your bank account number correctly and your routing number. Okay, you have to, and your bank's name. Those are the 3 things that it will ask you. Okay, the fees are specified to the account. Security Plus is one of our partners that come on annually. And their requirement, the requirement for that is also the YouthWorks payroll form. You have to identify, that is the second circle, you have to identify interest on the application form. So you have to Write in that circle that you're interested in it, and then we will take it from there. The YouthWorks representative will contact you with a response. Notation on the form: I am interested in opening up a Security Plus account. Fees: there are no fees, no monthly service fees, no minimum balance requirements. So there's no fees with on our side with regard to the Security Plus account.
All right, thank you so much, Karen and Yolanda. And now we're going to take some more questions. All right. So I'm trying to create my resume, but I'm not getting the link. So for the resume, it's one of our attachments. It is optional, but it can be helpful if you're applying to private sector jobs, if you're 16 and older. So I guess do your best to inform yourself on how to create a resume. Yeah, I don't know the exact answer to this question per se.
I think that was a good response. I would say, again, the resume is not a requirement for the host side. It is optional. And I would also additionally say, if you went online and you Googled resume template, or if you have Word and you go into resume template, it will give you a little bit more of a guide in terms of like how to set up your resume, and you could fill it in that way.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, kind of resources for creating a resume. Awesome. Mm-hmm. All right, let's take another question. Thank you for asking another question, Christina. How do I fill out my daughter's permit application if she's 13 now, but will be 14 by the deadline? So you'll go to our youthworks.oedworks.com website. That's a banner on the bottom. Oh, there's another one. And you'll click on the youth page, and you can scroll down, and we have the work permit there. A better option might actually be to click on the documents page at the top. So if you're on our homepage, click documents, scroll down, and there's a document for work permit.
Did John freeze?
Oh, it looks like he did freeze. One of the things also is I just went ahead and put the work permit link in the chat section. If anyone is have curiosities or questions on how to submit that. And Eric is back.
Okay, Eric, you froze for a second there.
I saw. So I'm not sure where we left off exactly with the work permit. Did you catch everything that I said?
Yeah, I think you summed it up good.
Okay, great. All right, so why don't we take another question? All right, thank you, Jennifer. So I still haven't gotten any confirmation that my application is complete. I've called the helpline. They said everything was okay and submitted properly. When will you send out the registration complete emails?
We usually, because of the staff that we have, it's not as hardy as we usually have. So it usually takes 4 to 5 business days for the turnaround period to get your documents looked at and quality reviewed. That's what it is. Once you upload them, it has to be quality reviewed to make sure that all of them are filled out completely. And we have thousands of kids. So we just ask that you be a little bit patient with us, especially while this verification process is going on as well. Just be a little bit more patient. We'll make sure that you get your receipt before we start placing any kids. So just be a little patient with us. Thank you.
And something else that we recommend is making sure that, so let's say you aren't receiving any emails from us, make sure your email is correct and you're checking the right one. But in this case, it sounds like you are checking the correct email. So yes, like Carol said, we just hope you can be patient with us. We're doing our best to make sure we get through all the thousands of applications and make sure we can get all of you a job this summer. Yes. All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you for asking another question, Harriet. Can we use a 1099 NT form for bank verification if it shows name and number? I know I'm not aware of this form.
No, that's not. I don't think that would have your bank information on it on your 1099. I don't believe that has your bank information on
No,
it.
that's
Say that again, Yolanda.
no, that's a tax form, and that doesn't actually come from the actual bank itself. So no, that wouldn't be acceptable.
Yeah. I don't think when I get mine,
One
You see
moment.
how in demand Carol is? She has all the answers. But to third, what Carol and Yolanda is saying, yeah, 1099 is a tax form. And I'm sure it has his name and his number on it. However, that wouldn't qualify for a bank. It wouldn't have the bank information on it.
Yeah, it just has, yeah.
And as Carol mentioned earlier, a voided check would suffice for that. All right.
And a bank.
All right. Janaya, thank you so much. Oh, and Yolanda, did you say a bank statement as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the other option as well. All right. Janaya says, I'm 14 and I'm just starting YouthWorks. Do I need to fill in the pay card information for an existing bank account and card? So in this case, it sounds like we're mixing two different payment options that we discussed.
Well, you get three payment options. So you would be able to select which payment option you want, whether you wanted to do Security Plus, where you establish like kind of your own bank account, or if you want to do a bank card. What is the third one, Carol?
Excuse me, Security Plus in your own, if you have your own bank account.
If you already have one.
Or Security Plus, yeah. And I think that's what they're asking. Yeah.
Yeah, and if we're referring to the payroll form, that is required for all YouthWorks applicants, in case that's what you mean by pay card guide.
Some kids find it easier to get the pay card. I mean, the money goes directly to you on your card. It's no doubt about it where it's going. Sometimes you just have to be careful because sometimes you give us the wrong information. So that's why we ask about when you write it down. So that's why we ask for verification of that information, though.
Exactly.
Pay card is always the easiest.
Awesome. All right, let's take another question. All right, so I filled my registration out. I still haven't gotten a verification appointment.
Well, we're not doing verification appointments this year because of the pandemic. That's that face-to-face that you're used to doing every year. So instead of doing the first face-to-face verification appointment, we're asking you to attach your documents. That's the same thing. We're just doing it spaced out, giving us some space there. So you will not receive a verification appointment. If you having problems with your documents and you need to drop them off, those are the only kind of appointments that we're giving out at this time.
Yep, so if you call our number at 410-545-1820, you can set up an appointment. Those are limited, but if you give us a call, we'll do our best to get you, to fit you in. All right. And again, so on that application, if you go down to step 4 of that application, that's where the attachment section is. You click that, open it up, and then from there you can attach your different types of attachments, your different types of forms that we're asking for the application. Okay. All right. Let's take another question. All right. So Terry says, 18-year-old in college. Can I still work with YouthWorks? Yes, you can. And we would love to have you. All right. So make sure you fill out that application. And if you're having any issues, again, we have that phone number, 410-545-1820 during business hours. Carol, or Yolanda, when exactly is that help desk number available?
The help desk number is available from 8:30 to 4:30. Actually, you know. You can call out, those are our business hours. And that 545-1820 number is the YouthWorks number, period. So anytime that you call that number, you'll speak to someone at YouthWorks.
Awesome. All right. Let's see if we have another question ready for us. Awesome. Olivia says, can I still use my passport even if it's expired? Unfortunately, I can't accept any expired forms of ID. Although we do have some other options, as we were discussing earlier, for work authorization and your identity forms. Should we go back over those briefly? What do you think? Carol, Yolanda, do you want to go over those really quickly, some of those options?
Okay, you could have your school ID. And if you're at the same school, you've been at the same school for 3 years, you can still use that ID. You can use your report card, which has your pupil number on it and your name. You can use your progress report as long as it has your pupil number on it. You could use a Maryland ID. And some people even have the MTA ID with their face on it and their name. You can use that as well as ID. And if you don't have a most recent report card or progress report, as Yolanda said, you can go through the school portal and get that online, take a picture of it and attach it to your application.
All right, thanks so much, Kara. I know I put you on the spot there.
That's okay, I don't mind.
Yeah, you're always ready to go, though. I appreciate it. And Yolanda and your Sheen as well. All right, and Dante. All right, so why don't we take another question? All right, Armani says, how much will the kids be paid?
Yeah, so if they are on the whole side, they'll be getting paid minimum wage, which is this year $11.75. If they are with the private sector, that could vary because they are paid directly through that particular private sector. But most of our applicants are on the whole side, so they'd be getting paid $11.75 an hour.
Yes, an hour. Yeah. All right. Let's take another question while we're on a roll. All right. Thank you so much, Dinya. Does it matter what your parents' salary is in order to be able to apply?
No, it does not.
It does not. Yep. Don't worry about that whatsoever. We'd love to have you sign up. We'd love to have you apply and get you working this summer through YouthWorks. All right, let's take one more question before we jump back into our presentation, and then we'll come back and take some more questions after that. All right, so Terry says, does an 18-year-old need anything from parents to process their application?
No, at the age of 18, we consider you as a young adult, and any of documents that have parent signature on it does not need a parent signature. You do not need your work permit. So no, you do not need your parents' signature on any of the documents.
Great. All right. Thanks so much, Carol. All right. I'm going to share my screen again. Once again, just ask you to bear with me just a moment.
While you're doing that, Eric, I'm just going to ask Carol to name for us, what are the requirements to participate in YouthWorks?
The requirements to participate in YouthWorks, you have to be a Baltimore City resident between the ages of 14 and 21. That is our only requirement. Now, you can do your application, but let me tell you, it's so important that you follow through. I mean, attaching those documents. If you have questions, asking those questions, because it's so important. We cannot get you a summer job if you don't complete the process. If you started the application process and you saved it, if you finalize it, you can still go back in to attach those documents. So, you can always finalize and submit and attach those documents. So 14 to 21 and a Baltimore City resident is our only requirement.
There you go. Eric, you ready?
Awesome. Yep. So I have it pulled up. And here we go. So we're gonna have Carol and Yolanda go through a couple of our frequently asked questions.
It's
and
not
we'll
on
take
our screen, Eric.
I should be sharing. Arlie, do you have it available? So Arlie's working behind the scenes. She's been doing a great job. She pulls up those banners for you. And we should have it. Is it up and ready to go now? I'm not able to see that.
And just so folks know, I just want to restate, we have 5 more days for everyone to complete their application. So if you have started your application and you still need to upload documents, please make sure that you are uploading those documents. If you're having trouble with the upload, call that help desk number and schedule an appointment to be able to see if you can drop off your documents in person. Again, that number is 410-545-1820. You have 5 days, and we want to see you employed.
There we go. Okay. Are we good to go now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right.
Okay, frequently asked questions. The attachment forms are not fillable for me when I open them. What should I do? First, open the documents in Google Chrome. That's very, very important. If it is still not fillable in Google Chrome, we recommend opening the document using this address, https://www.sejda.com/pdf.editor. Okay. That website does have limitations. A document you start working on will delete in 2 hours, and you can only save 3 documents until, you can only save 3 documents until you must wait 30 minutes to continue your work. So it will delete. If you start a document, it will delete in 2 hours. Okay, so that means you have to save your documents. All right, and then you have to wait 30 minutes to do any more. So that, website is the website you go. It's an editor work site. It'll allow you to fill and sign in your documents. I know some kids have problems with their W-4. If it's a PDF, sometimes you can look at the top of the document on the toolbar and it has sign in there. These are the documents on our webpage under documents that are PDF, and they have on the toolbar to sign. So you can always click that to fill out the documents as well.
How do I receive my verification receipt that lets me know my application is approved? First, our quality review team will check your application and attach documents. Next, you will receive an email from the YouthWorks help desk, either letting you know your application is approved with the verification receipt, or you will receive an email that your application is incomplete with information on what to do next. And that email, it should state exactly what the issue is. It will have an X located next to what is holding your application up or what needs to be corrected on your form. How do I know if my attachments were not at all submitted correctly? You will receive an email from the YW help desk with a checklist marked with an X next to the document that you are missing or incorrect.
Yes, and making sure that you are actually putting your signature and date these documents as well. A lot of the kids forget to, they fill out the top, they forget to sign the documents. Our office, our quality review team will send that back to you as incomplete. So at the bottom of those emails, it may have other with the X by it. So kind of follow those directions by the X. So it may be a signature. You may have exempt in the wrong place on your 507 or your W-4. Just follow the directions. We try to be precise when we give directions so that we don't have to keep doing it over and over again. Those documents, if they're incorrect, we can't accept them. Those are legal federal and state documents, so they have to be completed correctly.
Exactly. All right, why don't we take some more questions? All right, here we go. So I cannot get into the library to print out my paperwork. What should I do?
Well, if you fill
Well,
out the
the document-
documents, say for instance, you fill out the documents and you save them. You can take a picture of them and then save them as a JPEG file and attach them that way. Or again, you can call our office and get an appointment to come up to the office and drop the documents off. You can't print them. We are allowing some people, but you have to say that you can't print out the documents, and then we can make accommodations for you to fill them out on site. But it's not a lot of appointments like that. And
we got a great answer here as well for that question. So in this case, you don't have to print out anything. It's all online. She took pictures of her son's documents and uploaded them, as Carol was stating as well. Yeah. So do the best with what you can do. Feel free to call us if you need any assistance as well. And we'll do our best to give you suggestions on how to fill out your documents and what's the best option to do. And you can also call us and set up an appointment, an in-person appointment, if you do end up having your documents printed out, or if you need some help copying documents. That is a possibility as well. Yeah. All right, so let's take another question. Oh, so in this case, my son account is locked. What should I do?
You would have the youth or the parent would actually contact us, ywhelpdesk@oedworks.com. One of our help desk staff members will be able to assist. It'll take about, maybe 1 to 2 minutes. We'll just resolve the problem, whether it be changing an email, changing a password, or activating the actual account, especially if it was a youth that was here last year or the year before. It's just usually a simple fix. So you'll just email us at the ywhelpdesk@oedworks.com email address.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dante. All right. So why don't we take another question? Let's do it. All right. What's the website link? Please and thanks. All right. So our website is youthworks.oedworks.com. And if you're on our Facebook page, our link should be there as well. And here we have it scrolling on the bottom as well. So make sure you go to that website, and then from there, go to the youth page and scroll down there. We have lots of information to help you fill out your application and to start your application. So you can click new or returning youth and get started there. Okay? All right, so let's take another question. Let's do it. All right. So can I do the 13-year-old work permit application in person?
Yes, you can.
Yes. So if you...
But you have to call to get an appointment. Don't forget that. You can't just show up. Call our office and ask for an appointment to drop off to fill out the work permit there on site.
Yep. And again, unfortunately, those appointments are limited, especially with COVID-19. So we're doing our best to make sure we take appointments, but as safely as possible. All right. Thank you for asking the question, Marigan. So what medical info should be included? I see clinic, doctor, and hospitalization. Is all of the medical info needed? Or is it a summary from the doctor? I'm not sure the intent here. So I'm a little confused by this question.
Okay, so they're saying that at the bottom as another source of, you don't have to fill out that information. We don't need your hospital, any of the information. We don't need it. But if you are having problems with your ID, we do accept that as the last resort. Your immunization paperwork, those kind of things for identification from your doctor's office. But that's for ID. We don't need it for any other reason. We don't need to know all of that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just for, again, the ID purposes.
Exactly. All right, thanks, Carol. Let's take another question while we're on a roll. Let's see. Oh, I was just told that's all the questions right at this very moment. So why don't we jump back into some of the frequently asked questions we've received during this process. So just bear with me. I'm going to share my screen again. There we go. Looks like it should work this time. All right.
Okay. I submitted an application. Did we do this one? Nope. I submitted an application, but I got an email that it was incomplete. What do I do? Please upload the requested attachments forms to your YouthWorks system correctly. These were the forms marked by an X in the email received from the YouthWorks help desk. Again, that's that email that we send once we review your application and your attachments and they're not completed correctly, then we'll send you an email from the help desk. And remember, as we stated earlier, all of these documents, how to fill them out, how to save them, how to upload and attach to your account is on that home page under youth, that pretty purple page, that first page. Look at the top, youth is up in white. Click that and just scroll down. It'll tell you how to fill all that information out. And we have videos. It's very, very easy, very quick, very fast to fill out these documents. Just take your time and do it so we don't have to keep emailing you that it's incorrect. Documents upload directions. Again, click youth, scroll down to the form documents, fill out your missing incomplete forms, log into your YouthWorks account, click account, click youth registration, go to the attachment section of the application, attach the documents, and resubmit. If you are having difficulty, please email the YouthWorks help desk.
How do I get the document to you if I cannot attach them? Please call our office at 410-545-1820 for assistance or to request a drop-off appointment for your document. Please ask for Ms. Summers. These appointments are limited, so please call the office if you need to make an appointment to come drop off your document.
How do I let a work site know that my YouthWorks application has been approved? First, this is the only applicable. First, this is only applicable if you have been requested by a specific work site that has applied as a host site. What that means is the work site has to be deemed a work site for 2021 for you to even ask them to be a part of their work site, be a participant at their work site. Then you will share your verification receipt email with them once the application has been approved. You will have received the verification receipt by email demonstrating that your application was completely correct. That means everything on your application is correct, all your attachments are correct and completed, and we'll send you that verification receipt, which you will give to that work site to be requested. Now, we don't give out work site information. If you worked there last year and you don't have a relationship with your work site that you worked in previous years, we do not give out that confidential information to youth or parents.
All right. Thank you so much, Carol and Yolanda, for being so clear and concise. I appreciate it. All right, let's see if we have any more questions available. All right, thank you, Joshua. So was the message true that if you completed your application with all the necessary attachments by March 19th, then we are guaranteed a job? Oh, so Rashim, I think you are muted.
My answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Make sure you get the application in, like you said, with all the necessary attachments by March 19th, and then you're guaranteed a job. All right. So Tasha says, I have an appointment for my son Monday, Can I bring my other child who is a returning applicant? He had someone do his application, but I don't see it anywhere.
So one of the things I'm asking is, has he started an application? Because it's just for drop off. So it wouldn't be to go there to complete an entire application. So I would say start the process of your other child's application and then call and let them know that you're already coming up there and that you'll be bringing your other child with you. But your other child, one, will need to have at least started the registration and application process, because this is just drop off.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so let's take another question. Can the documents be submitted via email instead of coming to drop them off?
I'm saying no. You can upload them the same way that you would attach them to an email. Is the same method of attaching to the document location. So you would either attach them directly to the document location on the application, or you can make an appointment to drop them off. If we each year there's about 8,000 youth applying. If we got 8,000 emails for different documents, I'm sure you can imagine how that would absolutely flood our inboxes.
Yep, so that's step 4 of the application where it says attachments. That's where you'll put your type of attachment, and you'll make sure that your completely filled out form is attached, and then from there you'll upload it onto your application. Okay. All right, so that's our last question. Thank you so much for spending time with us today as we go through these application details to make sure that you get your job this summer. So Rashim is going to lead us out.
Yeah, I'll just add on to that and just say thank you to everyone who showed up to ask questions. Even if you did not ask a question, if you were here listening, if you're sharing this content, we appreciate that. And thank you so much. I'm sure for each person who asked the question, there's probably 5 or 10 other people who had that same question. And we hope that we were able to answer your questions today. Thank you again for your time and attention and spreading this information and making sure that we get the Baltimore City youth employed over this 6-week period over the summer. I also want to thank this fabulous team, Carol and Yolanda answering so many questions, Dante being here and present, also being active in the chat. Eric, you have been a phenomenal host, guiding us through the entire process. And also a big, big, big thank you to Arlie working behind the scenes. Thank you all for coming to check us out, and have a fantastic weekend.
All right, have a good weekend.